Hey you, stop staring at that map and pick up the hammer because it's time to build some buildings in City Skylines. That's right, I'm collaborating with Paradox Interactive to show you this amazing game which you can get and try out for yourself using the link in description. Between May 18 and 22nd, you can try out the game for free. Don't miss out on this opportunity. This is a game that I personally play in my own time a lot and I'm really enjoying. It's extremely relaxing and allows you to just build the city of your dreams essentially, which is why today we'll be recreating Constantinople. You guessed it, that's the map of Constantinople, modern Istanbul of course. Now if you're new to City Skylines, also take note, I will be explaining every single thing in detail, so even if you have no knowledge of the game, you will learn how to play it if you watch today's video. And if you try it out for free between 18th and 22nd of May and you enjoy it, there's also a big discount right now going on Steam, the Paradox Publisher Week, so there's a lot of cheaper DLCs as well as the base game itself is a lot cheaper than it normally is. So don't miss out on this opportunity. I really think you're gonna enjoy it. So the very first thing we need to do is connect to the main highway here and establish our city essentially. So let's click on roads. We got to make sure that this is a two-way road and we're gonna attach it to the highway here. So we're gonna bring it all the way down to the coastline. I am a big enjoyer of having cities by the coastline since it brings up the value of housing within this particular area. So that's where we're gonna build the majority of our housing districts, obviously. That being said, we're also gonna set up our grid here and I'm gonna be using the 2-lane gravel road for the regular parts of the districts. The reason I'm doing this is because the gravel road is significantly cheaper to maintain. It's only 0.19 cents per week per cell compared to the 2-lane road, which is 0.32 cents per week per cell. We're gonna have a fairly standard small town for the time being. I like to judge the distance by cost, so whenever it hits 300 on the construction cost, that's when I stop essentially. There we go, and merge this up. Now you're probably noticing in the middle part here, this is not any sort of a grid. That essentially means that we will not be able to assign this particular area in the middle to any of the zones. So we have the low density residential zone, commercial zone, industrial zone. We'll get more zones later down the line. For now, that's what we have. So in order to fix that particular issue, again, we're going to the gravel roads. Well, actually, I think the gravel roads are already selected, and we're gonna divide this up a little bit more. So we're gonna count 8 grids and we're gonna make a brand new district. We still have a little bit of space here because I didn't properly manage this. I'm bad at planning cities, okay? That's the reality here, but I still enjoy it a lot, so there's that. But hey, we have the bulldoze feature, so we're gonna bulldoze this bit here and we're gonna continue again, one more line, count to 8, and we have a new rectangle. We have 3 of these right now. Let's do another 3 on the other side as well. It's a lot easier from this side because we can judge what's happening from the other side. We don't need to count any grids or anything of the sorts, right? Now I'm gonna divide this up again. I'm gonna count 5 grids over here, and then afterwards I'll make a new line and then I'll build a new gravel road. Nope, that's not 5. This is 5. Boom shakalaka. You can see over here we have 1 2 3 4 5. The reason for this is because this is the main road. Eventually the main road's going to get expanded, and that means we're going to need 1 more tile. And aside from that, this is going to be the low density commercial zone, and I personally like to keep the low density commercial zones 4 tiles. So let's do the exact same thing over here. Boom stakalokos. And now we can set up the housing districts. Let's go. Beautiful green districts all around. 1 2 3 4 5 6, and we're gonna set up these commercial districts in the middle. It's better to have the commercial districts on the main road where there's easier access to the main highway. Before we even on pause, we need to set up our electricity, water, and waste supply. So first, let's set up the water pumping station. I'm gonna place this right over here. It's a little bit further away from the rest of the town, but there's a reason for that. Eventually the town's gonna expand and we want to have enough space between all of these vital infrastructure places. The waste plant I'm gonna place on the other side of the map simply because we don't want the water to actually mix in with the waste, because if that happens then people are gonna get sick and they're not gonna like living in our city and they're gonna go away. We don't want them to go away, do we? Gonna make a straight dash towards my road here, and then once I get into town I'm gonna put the pipes all along the way along my roads. I kind of messed up a little bit here. This is not properly along the roads, but it's it's fine. Better than nothing, right? There you go. The entirety of the small town is now covered by the sewers. We got to connect the water supply as well. So now we have water supply. But in order for water and the sewers to be functional, we need electricity. At the start, we have two ways of getting electricity. We have the wind turbines or we have the coal power plants. The coal power plants are significantly more expensive. They give out a lot of pollution aside from noise pollution, but they produce a ton of power, 40 megawatts compared to the up to 8 megawatts that the regular wind turbines produce. Turbines are cheaper though, and we don't need that much electricity at the start. So I'm going to start with some wind turbines. I'm going to place my wind turbine right over here. The reason I'm doing that is because you see on the map where it's a little bit darker, those darker areas give you the highest amount of electrical output for the wind turbines. You can see here it's already 8 megawatts compared to if I say move it over here, it's 0 megawatts, 1 megawatt, 3 megawatts, and so on. Essentially, this is a very windy area, I'm guessing, or something of the sorts. Let's go ahead and click this. Now we have electricity, but we have to bring it to town. So we're going to be building some power lines. Click within this particular area, and let's drag this power line over to town. Not the prettiest of lines, but it is still a line. We also have to do the same with the water treatment plant. We need to connect the water treatment plant with the rest of town. So we're going to bring it over here. But you can see there's definitely a big missing connection between the two. So what I can do for that is I can set up my low density residential zone, and then these houses eventually will have electrical connections, making it possible to connect these two zones together. However, I need to make sure that this area is the first one to get residents. So I'm going to cancel the other areas in the meanwhile, and I'll let the other areas be populated after this initial one gets populated first. So now it's time to unpause. It's been a while, but yeah, now we can actually unpause. We've set up the basic stuff for our city, and we should be able to get some people arriving anytime now. Come on, guys. I need you boys to arrive. I only have 40,000 in the bank left. It's pretty bad here, guys. We need people in here to help work the fields. Except there's no fields. There's mostly just houses and business district. Oh, there you go. We have our first house being built. Let's speed this up a little bit, actually, and let's watch these houses getting built. Absolutely beautiful. Now check it out. This power line is going to get its connection to the house. Then the house is going to get connection to the next house, and so on. And eventually, look at that. We now have a connection between both of these power lines. So if we click on this, you can see that we have enough water and sewage available, and that we have the electricity to supply both of those. Same goes for the electrical output. If we click on it, we see that all of these houses have the electrical support that they need. Now let's go back and re-establish the 6 districts, housing districts, or whatever they're called. I guess housing zones is probably better because there actually are districts in the game, and it's something completely different. We'll get to that at the later bit of this particular video, of course. If you see at the bottom bit here, it says very high demand for industry or offices. That's because we don't have an industrial sector set up, and we're gonna set that up right now. Setting up industrial zones, of course, is extremely important since it's where most of your money is going to be coming from, and people need jobs, right? But take note, you want to make sure your industrial zones are a little bit further away from town, because people are not big fans of massive industrial areas right next to their houses, are they now? So let's say we're going to build it up over here. We're going to make, say, 1, and let's do another one as well here. There you go, like this, and maybe a third one. I don't mind having some extra industrial sectors from the very get-go, because that means people are going to be more inclined to settle in our city, right? Now let's go over to our zoning, and let's go and click 3 industrial zones for the time being. We'll expand and we'll build more as we go along. Take notice, we do have a little bit of a distance between the actual town and the industrial zone. I highly recommend you do that in your particular games if you get the game and start building up your city. Now, there's a problem. We have the buildings built, but we don't have electricity or water for that matter. So we have to extend our sewers, go alongside the road here. There you go. Bring it all around the industrial zone. And now the same, we're gonna get our power lines. We don't need to start from the bottom there. We can just continue from over here since we have a connection in the residential area of this particular bit. Now, take note, we are consuming a lot of electricity, 6, almost 7 megawatts. That means I'm gonna need to build a secondary wind turbine. Let's build it over here. Estimated production is 8 megawatts, so that's amazing. And it means we don't need to worry about electricity for quite a little bit of time. We do have to worry, however, about not having enough housing. There you go, medium demand for residential zones. So let's go back here and let's build more residential zones. We're going to expand this the same way we did before. So all the way until it says construction 300. Keep going. We want to have as many houses as possible since we need a high amount of population to help us out, basically. There you go. Now we can go back to our zones, set up some green zones. 1, 2, 3 should be enough. Oh no, wow, that's really high demand for residential zones. Okay, we're gonna expand in this area as well then. Once more, gravel roads up to 300 construction. Gonna speed this up a little bit so you guys don't get too bored with this entire process. Hey, congratulations, we just became a little hamlet. That means we have new services, garbage, healthcare, campus areas, and education, as well as a few new buildings here. So let's get into that. I'm gonna pause for a second because I gotta finish building my roads here and set up the residential areas. But we did get a bonus to our finances, so we have 42,000 now. We get that every time we reach a milestone to help us build the new buildings. Take note though, these are vital buildings, so you want to build these as soon as possible. For example, we need the medical clinic to support all of our population, and it's best to build this somewhere where it covers the majority of your residential area. So let's say here, pretty much in the middle, not necessarily in the middle, but close-ish, let's say. Same goes for the garbage industry. We're going to build a landfill, and we're going to build that landfill right here towards the edge of town. We don't want the pollution from the landfill to make our citizens unhappy. And the third new tab that we just got released, the education and campus area, we can build elementary schools as well as community schools. I'm going to set it up right next to my hospital here, so this area is going to be in very high demand afterwards. So let's go ahead and build this rest here as residential areas. And on pause, we want to see how this is going to play out now. We're starting to get some money actually. 500 balance, 400 balance. Okay, we're losing a little bit, of course, because we are building a lot of important buildings that do have an upkeep we have to keep up with, right? Let's take a quick glance over at Little Constantinople, as I like to call it. Starting to definitely shape up, isn't it? Over here, however, we seem to have some labor problems. Not enough workers. Okay, operating normally still though, but there are 10 jobs available, so we just gotta wait for more people to come in. These guys don't have access to sewage, so let's extend the sewer network. Boom shakalaka, all the way like that. Absolutely amazing. That is not a straight line. Oh my god, my OCD is absolutely killing me right now. I have to bulldoze this. I have to bulldoze this. I am sorry. Cannot let that slide. Okay, there you go. Now it's way better. Okay, we can bring it up like this as well. I'm going to bulldoze this bit also, and oh, way better. Way better. Such an OCD friendly sewer network, I swear. Let's make sure we do the same in this area, just in case. We don't want to have sewer problems later down the line when people start coming in here. Connect this to this, and we can bulldoze this bit. Now we can make this straight as well. Quick glance at our needs here. It looks like we need more industrial zones and more residential zones. Okay, surprised that we need more residential zones, but fair enough. Let's build a few more industrial zones, however, here. 300 construction, 300, and link this up. There you go. Absolutely brilliant. I'm loving this American style Constantinople that I'm reproducing over here. Clearly, everybody knows that Constantinople had the American grid style for its zones. It was famous for this, obviously. I mean, jokes aside though, the Romans pretty much were the ones that had rectangular city planning. Like, that's legit. So maybe back in the day when they first laid out Constantinople, it was a square urban design, but then as years went along, they just went crazy and did what all the other European cities did, which is be extremely not OCD friendly, let's say. I feel like you can never have enough sewers. Half of this playthrough already, I've been building sewers. Alright, we also need more power, so let's go ahead and build another windmill over here. That should be fine. And it seems like we have a high demand or medium demand for residential zones, so let's expand a little bit more. Let's say to the side here. I don't want to expand too close to the industrial zone, however, so this should be the highest extent of me expanding into that area. There you go. Build the road as well. Amazing. And how did I go wrong here? Why is this not? Oh, right. That's because of the power lines. Okay, makes sense. All right, let's assign this to the green zones. Boom. And oh no, I forgot. I have to also do the commercial zone there. So we're gonna do 2 green zones and 1 commercial zone right over here. The game seems to have decided that we are a worthy village now, guys, and that means we have new policies. We can mess around with power usage, water usage, as well as smoke detector distribution. We got self-sufficient buildings in the residential specialization, forestry specialization, agricultural specialization, new services, the ability to take a second loan, and I realized I didn't even explain the loans. I'm going to explain that right now, actually. Plus, the entire area that we're allowed to play within or build within has expanded. So, a lot of good stuff just happened, boys. Now, if you pay attention here, right now we have 0 crime rate. However, this is going to slowly be ticking up upwards. So we want to have a police station just so we get rid of any potential crime and we don't have any crime whatsoever in the long run. Again, building this within a residential area is preferred. So let's say we can build it over here. There you go. Everyone's a lot happier now with the police around the neighborhood. More important than the police station, however, is the firehouse, because fires can start and destroy a lot of buildings. So we don't want that to happen. I'm probably going to need a couple of fire stations, to be fair, around the residential area, but also in the industrial sector. So I'm going to build my first fire station in the industrial sector. Let's say we can build it over here, kind of in between the industrial bit and the residential area. So I'm trying to make the best of both worlds here, right? It does cost 12,000 money, so we only have 4,000 left, but we're getting 1.2 thousand weekly, so we are definitely on the right track here. As long as we keep our population happy and we keep them employed, then our money is going to continuously go up and we'll have the necessary funds to build more buildings and expand the city. Now we can also set up districts which are going to be used for farming and forestry and so on. So let's say we can build our first district over here. Let's go like this, just like a weird shaped district, right? It's manually built, so manually delimited or whatever you want to call it, so it can have some weird shapes, of course, as consequence. This one's named Foggy Hills. We can rename it if we click on it. However, I don't care about it too much. I'm going to assign this as my forest industry. So I'm going to click on this, and now you can see a small little tree here next to Foggy Hills, which means that this is a forest district. And you can see the bonuses here as well as the downsides. So for this one, we got slightly increased electrical consumption as well as tax income, but it does require the natural resource of forest, which is renewable, of course. Actually, probably should make it over here considering there's way more trees over there. So let's say do it like this. Boom. Oh yeah, that's a really good district right there. Let's bring this one like this. And we can reassign these. We can assign this one as the forest district, and we can assign this one as the agricultural one, and we can just get rid of the trees afterwards. I also want to talk about the policies that we have available. So clicking on policies shows us what we have right now. It's not too many. Of course, this will change as we grow our city. Right now we can do power usage. It's kind of like edicts in EU4, let's say. Energy consumption is reduced a little bit, but it does cost 5 cents per building, so that's quite a lot. Same goes for water. Or smoke detector distribution essentially means that we reduce the risk of fire, but again, it costs 5 cents per building, which is quite a little bit of money. So if you think it's worth it, sure, go for it, but it's really up to everybody's individual desire, really. And I just realized I need even more residential zones. Holy snaps, the city's growing insanely fast, man. All right, let me build some more residential bits here then. I'm also kind of running out of money, so I'm probably going to be chilling a little bit after I finish this new residential area. I need to gather up some money, and I need to build a secondary fire station, for example. And I think I might also have issues with my electricity. 1824, definitely going to need some more electricity as well. Let's also get those sewages going too in the new areas, for that matter. There you go, way better now. I also want to show you guys the info views. Once we click this button over here, we have a lot of different viewing options. We can see our education, and it shows us the capacity right now, so how many of our people can actually reach education. We need to build more schools and so on. Happiness for the citizens. Some people around seems to not be very happy for some reason. Okay, interesting. Health as well, so that obviously is based off of the hospitals and so on, clinics that we get. Pollution levels, of course, the industrial area is very, very polluted. Noise pollution is also something. Now, they do accept the commercial area is basically okay when it comes to noise pollution, but that being said, it's really wise not to have too much or any noise pollution in the residential areas in general. That's why I put this from the beginning far away from the residential area. There's multiple other things you can check out here, like the natural resources and so on. So for example, here I probably should do the agricultural sector wherever the fertile lands are. Not here. This is just really bad. Actually, I'm just gonna delete that sector. I'm gonna put it, say, over here. This would be a perfect agricultural sector. So let's do that now before I forget. Go right here, do it like this. There you go. And now we can assign this as the agricultural sector, and we can also delete this sector altogether, I guess. Our money pool is increasing massively. 1,000 1,300, 1,400, and growing. And we also just had our very first fire over here, successfully put out though by our brave firefighters, obviously. I also kind of enjoy checking out the people on the street sometimes, like just checking the random cars and stuff. If you click on stuff, you can actually see like the owner of the car, where they reside, what kind of job they have, and so on. And you can click on the owner. Why is he so far away from the car actually? What the F? He parked his car over here and he's actually in school, or what is this? Is the neighborhood shop. Okay, that's, I guess he had no parking space. We should probably build some parking spaces, right? And it did happen. There you go, boys. We're out of electricity. Oof. Okay, let's build. Oh, this is not Gucci. We are in need of money to build a wind turbine. But what I could do temporarily is I could go to my economy screen here and I could increase taxes. I could change a little bit the budget here and say by increasing my budget for electricity to 150%, I produce more electricity, which means these guys should have enough electricity for the time being. Oh, we just got Tiny Town. Yay! That saved us actually, because that means we got a little bit of money again. So we can use that to build, you know what? I think I'm going to build a power plant. We have a lot of new buildings now, by the way, because we are a tiny town, including fences, parks, and a lot of other amazing things that we'll be experimenting with. We also have the industry areas, fishing industry, level 2 unique buildings, football concerts, parks and plazas, and so on. I'm not building any more of those wind turbines because they're just not efficient enough for me for the time being. The coal power plant might be a little bit of money, but it produces 40 megawatts compared to the 8 megawatts that a wind turbine produces. So by comparison, there's really no comparison. It's just a coal power plant is extremely useful in the early part of the campaign. We will change it later down the line, of course, once we discover better alternatives to coal. Let's go back to our budget though. We want to bring this back to 100%. We don't want to spend extra money since we have the coal power plant now. And yeah, we can take loans. Right now we can take 2 loans, 20,000 and 60,000 bucks, and we're gonna pay this off in the long run. What the loans do is basically they give us capital ahead of time so we can build the buildings that we require to build to get out of tricky situations or to just grow at a faster pace, let's say. We've also unlocked the leisure map mode, so let's go ahead and build a park. This is a pretty sizable structure here. We're gonna build it between the industrial zone and the actual people living in the residential bits. It's going to make people a little bit happier, of course, because it appeals to a wider area. It doesn't make people super happy, but it's better than nothing. And look, we already start seeing houses getting slightly greener, which equates to happier and more entertained. We could, however, build more, say, small parks around these areas, for example, or just scroll around here and say build a Japanese garden, which has a much smaller area. If you see on the map, there's a small green area there. But if we build this, check this out, see what happens here. Let me build it somewhere very, very central, say like over here. Yeah, that's a good one. Look at this. See how happy people are gonna get very, very fast. There you go. They're literally just blue right there. All the houses around the Japanese garden are blue, which means that they are extremely entertained right now. But yeah, we're out of money again, so we gotta wait for some more money now. Entertainment comes at a cost, boys. It does come at a cost. Let's build more low density commercial zones, I guess, next. Considering how the demand for commercial zones is still pretty high, I'm gonna be doing something that I should have done a while back, actually. I'm going to create a new commercial zone area right over here. Divide this up a little bit as well. There you go, like this, and that should be fine. Now, because this is a commercial zone, we need a better road, actually, so we're gonna be going ahead and we're gonna be switching to the 2-lane road with the wide sidewalk here. And that long-awaited secondary fire station I was talking about is possible to be built. We have the money for this now. Look at all these blue houses. That means this is extremely safe. However, this area is not really that good when it comes to fire hazards, or this area for that matter, so we definitely need more fire stations as we go along. These are expensive, so it's something we're gonna have to build up to, obviously. Same goes for this. We already have 5% crime rate, which is still pretty low, but eventually we're gonna need to build a secondary police station. And we got the first building that has leveled up right here. Let's check it out, boys. This means this building, once it's finished rebuilding, is going to give us some more taxes. And this was upgraded to level 2 because we have the education needed for the people living in this particular household. Wow, it's actually almost on the way to being level 3 for that matter. Holy shit. We do need to invest more in our education. However, look at that public library or any sort of education. Right now, almost everything is red because we don't have much except the one elementary school. So let's focus on that next, I think. Having better education means we don't necessarily need to expand too much our city because houses get upgraded. And boom, boys. And I really mean boom because we are now a boom town. We increased the area as well again. We got airport areas as well now. A lot of new services, including taxis, tourist post services, buses, trams, or industry specialization, and a ton of new roads as well. So this is really where the fun begins. It's definitely high time we get a high school going. Holy schnapps, this thing is absolutely massive. Where am I even gonna build this thing? God, schnagadogs. There you go. That suits me. That suits me for sure. Look how happy the people are now that they've got an actual high school next to them, though. That's what really matters here, boys. That's what actually really matters. And we got 339 already eligible people to go for high school. That's awesome. I'd say we should also get a community school going as well. Let's say somewhere in this particular area, since we build a high school on the other side of town, right? We want to make it fair for everybody. Our city's been growing at such an alarming rate that we need to build another power plant. We don't have the money, though. We are making a lot of money weekly, so we can just wait for money to get up so we can build a secondary coal plant, which would be a better investment than a regular turbine, I guess. But since we kind of are on the verge of needing electricity, I'm just gonna quickly slap on over here another turbine, just like a quick fix, let's call it. I find it a little bit odd that the cemetery is in the healthcare part of our building section here, but okay, I mean, you know, I guess it is technically related to health, right? And look at that, everybody's super happy now that we built the cemetery because everybody knows where they're going afterwards, I guess. We also are able now to buy new pieces of land. So if we click on this one, for example, costs 2,900. We can purchase it. We can purchase another one over here, 7,000, 7,000. How about this one? 6,500, 7 again, 5,000. This one's pretty cheap. So what this does obviously is it expands the area where we can build. So now we pretty much can build on the entirety of the peninsula where Constantinople technically is, making our way to around the area where Hagia Sophia was historically built, I guess. Do we even have Hagia Sophia as one of the unique buildings? I'm curious now. Let me check. So unique buildings here, we have Panda Sanctuary, Oriental Pearl Tower, Temple Complex. Oh, actually we can check from concert, football, level 1 unique, level 2, and so on. There's gotta be a Hagia Sophia somewhere here. There definitely has to be one. I will eventually find it. You know, if I was really a scumbag, I would set up a toll for anybody moving in through this particular highway. Would I be the worst person if I did that? What do you guys think? Oh no, what just happened? This road got destroyed. Oh, we might as well just build a new one then. There you go. We can build a nice little toll road here. And we're back in business. Okay, well, awesome. That means that anytime people want to go through here, they have to pay the toll, and that means I'm gonna get filthy rich because people cannot leave or enter this area, this entire city, without paying my toll. I mean, look at that. My income just went to 3,000. Not sure if it's because of this, but definitely played its part in the whole situation. Finally, we have a little bit more of a need for industry or offices, so we can expand this bit here. We haven't expanded this in a really long time, actually. Since we have some extra money, let's purchase a new plot of land here, and there you go. We're essentially triple the size that we started as. Look at all this land we can build on now, boys. Absolutely amazing. All right, we actually managed to get advanced wind turbines, which are way better. They can produce up to 20 megawatts, so we can replace our coal plants, which are kind of out of fuel anyway. We're gonna be placing these on water, so let's place them close to, say, the water filtering areas. There you go. That looks pretty good to me. Now we got up to 90 megawatts going. It's fluctuating a little bit, but we're getting up there. This is really expensive though. One of these bad boys is 12,000 bucks, but I'm gonna prioritize building at least 3 or 4 of these before anything else because I need the electricity. We're close to leveling up Constantinople once more, but I'm gonna leave it as it is. However, if you guys enjoyed the video and you want to see more like these, let me know in the comment section. If we get, say, 4,000 likes, I'll continue this run and make Constantinople great again, let's say. And don't forget to use that link in the description and enjoy the free weekend for City Skylines. This really is a unique opportunity. So until the next time, check out this awesome video. And I want to give a massive thank you to all of my patrons, channel members, and Twitch subscribers. I would not be able to do this without all your support.